Nobody warned him, no alarm, no big failure. No dramatic moment, just a slow, silent, wasted potential. A creeping sense of stagnation that he couldn't quite name. Until one day, he finally realized the truth, and that truth changed everything. Meet Daniel. From the outside, you'd never guess anything was wrong. Daniel wasn't failing in the traditional sense. He had a stable job, he paid his bills on time, and his life looked, well, fine, but inside a different story was unfolding. He felt trapped, like he was living the same day on an endless loop. Wake up tired, drag himself through the morning, scroll his phone for what felt like hours, watching other people live their lives. Every night he'd promise himself the same thing. Tomorrow I'll do better, tomorrow I'll start. But somehow, that magical tomorrow never seemed to arrive. The cycle just kept repeating, a quiet desperation settling in deeper with each passing day. He wasn't unhappy enough to make a drastic change, but he wasn't happy enough to feel alive. He was just existing. And that was the most terrifying part. Daniel had a whole library of excuses he'd tell himself. They were comforting lies, whispers that kept him in his comfort zone. I'm not ready yet, he'd think. I need to learn more first. Or I'll start when things slow down at work. The classic one was, I just need more motivation. If I felt more motivated, I could do anything. But deep down, underneath all the self-deception, he knew the real issue. It wasn't about readiness or timing. It wasn't about a lack of motivation. Motivation is fleeting, like a spark that fizzles out. What he was truly missing was discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. He was waiting for a feeling, but success isn't built on feelings. It's built on action. And the gap between the person he was and the person he wanted to be was filled with all the small actions he was untaking. The wake-up call didn't come from a big crisis. It came from a small, glowing screen. One night, after another evening of mindless scrolling, Daniel's phone flashed its weekly screen time report. The number was shocking. Hours upon hours spent on social media, on videos, on nothing of consequence. He did the math. Those hours added up to days. The days added up to weeks. He suddenly saw his life not in terms of years, but in terms of wasted screen time reports. A future filled with more of the same. And that moment, looking at that simple number, scared him more than any failure ever could. Because he realized he wasn't even failing. To fail, you have to try. He hadn't even given himself the chance. He was just letting time slip through his fingers, one scroll at a time. That night, Daniel didn't make a grand, sweeping declaration. He didn't tear up his room or write a manifesto. He did something much quieter and much more powerful. He made one simple, non-negotiable rule for himself. No dramatic life overhaul. No vowing to wake up at 4 a.m. and run a marathon. Just this. Every single morning, before he allowed himself to pick up his phone, he would work on one meaningful task for just 30 minutes. It could be reading a book, learning a new skill online, or planning his day. Just 30 minutes. No excuses. No skipping. It was small enough to be achievable, but consistent enough to make a difference. This wasn't about changing his whole life overnight. It was about changing the very first decision he made each day. The first week was tough. It felt unnatural, uncomfortable. His brain screamed for the easy dopamine hit of his phone. The urge to just check his notifications for 1 minute was immense. But he stuck to his rule. And then something strange began to happen. After a few days, that 30 minutes started to feel less like a chore and more like a gift. It was his time, protected from the world's distractions. His ability to focus for longer periods started to improve. Finishing that small task each morning gave him a tiny jolt of accomplishment, a feeling that began to snowball. His confidence grew. His self-respect, which had been eroding for years, started to come back. It was a profound realization. One small promise, kept to himself daily, was fundamentally changing how he saw himself. He was no longer someone who just talked about doing things. He was someone who did them. Months passed. Daniel was not the same person who used to lose hours to his phone. Those 30 minutes a day had compounded into hundreds of hours of focused work. He had learned new skills that made him more valuable at his job. He had read dozens of books. He had started a small side project he'd been dreaming about for years. Opportunities started appearing that he wouldn't have even noticed before, simply because he was now prepared to seize them. His entire mindset had shifted. Life hadn't magically gotten easier. The world was still just as distracting. The difference was him. He had stopped waiting for permission, stopped waiting for motivation, and stopped avoiding the necessary discomfort of discipline. He had built himself, 30 minutes at a time. Most people don't spectacularly ruin their lives in one fell swoop. They just delay them day by day until one day becomes never. They put their dreams on layaway, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. If you're out there waiting for a lightning bolt of motivation to strike you, I'm telling you to stop. It's a trap. Build the discipline first, and motivation will follow. Your future isn't created in the big, dramatic moments. It's forged in the quiet, unseen, small decisions you make every single day. The decision to get up instead of hitting snooze. The decision to work on your goal for 15 minutes instead of scrolling. These are the moments that define you. Start today. Start small, your future self is begging you. Thanks for watching, and if this helped, make sure to follow for more.